giving us these numbers and stuff, you know. What an easy job, huh?
You're good at it.
Not exactly. Not exactly. That's just part of the process here. We just want to make sure that we get everybody's information, and and make sure that you get a chance to participate a little later on, in a few moments. As Corin, my wonderful colleague, mentioned, my name is Max Knighten, and I am also a program manager for the Center of Health and Justice at Task. And I've been there for about 17, 18 years now, and doing this as well as doing some counseling. And I'm also a person with long-term recovery, about 34 years. So God is good. I feel real comfortable standing here in the middle of the church talking to everybody. We've done 3 of these in the last month or so. And I feel most comfortable right here. And I know that a lot of people started off with your initiative with you that for whatever reasons are no longer here. Now we always expect that everybody's going to stick around. We look for people to be with us but the fact of the matter is that people are with us for either a reason or a season. And so everybody is not going to always be here. Everybody's not going to last as long. And it doesn't make them bad people. It's just that they can't go as far as you can. You notice when a rocket launches, the boosters, they kind of fall off after a certain altitude. Mm-hmm. It's not that they're not good, solid state equipment. It's just that they're only meant to go so far. And that's what happened with the people who are no longer with you all today. All right, but you all are here. You all have managed to put this thing together. You all have, we've gotten to this point where we're getting ready to launch this thing off and watch it soar into its heavenly destinations. So I think at this point, especially after all the carbs that you just had and whatnot, that you need to give yourselves a round of applause. Fantastic. I think it was Dr. Tony Evans I heard tell this story once upon a time about 2 Army veterans who had later, once they left the service, they became police officers, and they kind of split up. They were both very successful in their careers, and as a matter of fact, one of them ended up with a huge ranch right here in central Illinois. So he invited his other friend to come and to see his ranch and to enjoy some luxury, for a little while, and, to just kick back and relax. His friend accepted the invitation, and so he went and picked him up from the Central Illinois airport and brought him on over to the ranch and whatnot. And as they were driving up the road that led to his house, his friend happened to notice the barn. And the barn was there, and on the barn, there were several targets. And on each target on that barn were holes where this guy had been shooting. And apparently, this guy was a spectacular marksman. Every single target had bullseyes. He had hit the bullseyes on every single, no stray bullets, no stray holes, nothing. Just every single thing, he hit bullseyes. So his friend asked me, he said, "Hey man, you were never that good a shot in the service. You were never that good a shot on the force. How did you manage to acquire such a skill now? Wow man, every single target has bullseyes. You did not miss a single shot." He said, "Oh, it was easy." He said, "First, I did my shooting. Then I went and I drew the picture of the targets around the holes." Crazy, right? Well, I'm here today to try and help to make sure that our initiative, our Choices initiative, stays on target. Okay, that we don't have to go back, all right, and reinvent things or redo things and whatnot. We're here today to make sure that you hit the bullseye and stay on that bullseye every single time when it comes to racial equity and diversion. What I want to do first is start off with a couple of definitions, because I know that words kind of have different meanings to different people and whatnot. So let's talk about diversity. Now, diversity is about the initiative itself, all right? The makeup of the initiative, the people who are doing the actual service, who are out there doing the work, who the community actually sees, okay? And that's when you intentionally, excuse me, when you intentionally engage your program as staff, volunteers, citizens, and participants. Okay, you intentionally make sure that the community, the people that you're serving, the various ethnic and racial groups, sexual groups, it doesn't matter, that they're all represented within your initiative. That's what diversity is. Now, equity, on the other hand, is making sure this is all about those who are actually receiving the services. That's what equity is about. It's making sure that everybody has a fair opportunity to access the services that you're providing. Doesn't make sense to have, all these wonderful things. Wow, we got some wonderful people in here doing some wonderful things today. As I went around the room, holding the mic, or in some cases, not holding the mic and whatnot, I couldn't help but marvel at some of the magnificent work that's being done right here in this community. And this is to make sure equity is all about making sure that the people in the community can access those wonderful things that you're doing. They can access, the food pantries. They can access the treatment that they may need. They can get the transportation they might need, the health care, whatever it might happen to be. Okay, well, it doesn't matter who they are. It just matters that they can get those services. And that's what equity is all about. There's a couple things that you have to do to make sure that you access that equity and diversity are included in your particular initiative, okay? Starting off with a self-assessment, taking a look at the leadership at all levels of the initiative to make sure that the community that you're serving, all of the community that you're serving, is included or represented rather, within the initiative itself. People have more of a tendency to accept assistance or to seek assistance when they see people that look like themselves, act like themselves, or have acted like themselves, can kind of understand what it is that they're dealing with and what they've gone through. So taking a look at your initiative to make sure that it reflects those people. That's one of the things. The second thing is to utilize the data that you gather, okay, about your community, so that you'll know who it is that needs the services. It doesn't make sense to just put up something, put up a food pantry, and nobody comes. And you got all of this stuff here, all these resources, and nobody accesses them, nobody utilizes them. So we want to make sure that we take a look at the data that we gather, so that we can make sure that we have equity within the community, within the initiative. Now, that's what you do. These are the goals that we're challenging you to make sure you've worked so hard to get up to this point. These are the goals that we want to help you to make sure that you maintain throughout the initiative. Number one, we challenge you to make sure that your leadership includes all the groups within the community. Everybody that's being serviced in the substance use and mental health disorder community. That's one of the things, okay? And that's about diversity. Once again, your initiative needs to reflect those who have the substance use and mental health disorders. Back to equity again, the deflection team, the people that are actually going out into the community, providing these services, they need to either represent that community that they're serving, or they darn well better have a specific strategy in how to do it. One size does not fit all when it comes to substance use and mental health disorders. Okay, so they have to be represented within that deflection team, or that deflection team absolutely positively must have specific orientation toward the specific groups that are there. Number 3, you have to deploy your teams to where they're needed. It does not, again, make sense to have a team on one side of town where there's only 2 overdoses, and you got 50 overdoses in this community and nobody's over there. So we have to make sure that our teams are deployed to the area where they're needed at the most. Finally, all right. Finally, all the services need to be accessible to all the community groups. Whether it be treatment, whether it be food services, whether it be regular basic health care, child care, whatever the particular needs are, they need to be accessible by everybody. Every single body in the community, particularly the ones who are being deflected, have to be able to access the services. Okay? If your service is on one side of town and nobody has transportation to get over there, you're going to have a pretty lonely initiative. It also helps to do this because your numbers, you will be servicing people and your numbers are going to go up. Okay, and they're going to be the people who are helping you, whether it be those in the community, whether it be funding sources or other resources, they're going to want to pour more and more into your particular initiative. We came up with these things in our national work. Corin mentioned earlier how over 50, 60 years of research that we found that by providing these services at the various intercepts, that we stop people from going further and further into the system. Okay? If they're arrested, if they've been arrested, we can stop by providing them the services, we can stop them from going to jail. If they're in jail and we provide them the services, there's a good chance that they may not go back. They may come out and they may not return. They may not be those rerounders all the time. Something else that we also found out in those 50 and 60 years of research and in our national work is that there are huge, huge racial disparities within the criminal justice system. Almost 4 times as many. The numbers are astronomical. Just like you all almost fell out when Corin showed you how many people could actually be saved through deflection, those numbers are just as staggering. So we found that out through our national work, through research over the years. And we found out something else. One of the biggest hindrances is in this entire thing from every which direction is distrust. Nobody's trusting anybody. It's not just one group or another group. Nobody trusts anybody. The police, they say, we've arrested Max 20 times. He never gets it. You know, he's never gonna get it. Max says, man, you think you've arrested me the last 20 times. Do you think I'm about to walk up in the police station with my works, works of the drug paraphernalia, with my works, and actually believe that you're not going to put me in jail again, that you're actually going to give me some help? Yeah, right. Treatment says Max been in here 20 times. He still ain't getting it. We need to have benefit limits to stop him from coming up in here. Max is like, man, I done been in this place, man, 20 times. Y'all ain't helping me. Y'all are doing absolutely nothing for me. Why should I go back up in here again? The food pantry is sneering and snickering at Max when he comes in. Hey, every month, man, he comes in here, he gets his check, he blows it, and then he comes in here begging for food for his family. You know, trying to feed him. And at the same time, Max is like, man, I'm not going in there. I'm tired of asking them for food. All they do is laugh at me, man, every single time I go in there. There's no trust. There's no trust among anybody. How do we overcome that? Because that's the biggest challenge, is overcoming the trust issue. The first thing you have to do is know what the degree of trust is within the community. You find that out by continuing to invite people to the table, to tell you. Continue to invite the community members, okay? The ones who aren't here today, all right? But you know they need to be here. Get them in there, all right? Get their opinions. Find out what's really going on out there. Number two, a few months from now, take a few of those dollars and form a focus group. A paid focus group will be able to give you information that everybody else might be a little afraid to give you. They might be scared to tell you what's really going on. For whatever reason, you know, man, if I tell them this, man, they ain't gonna let me get no more food. They ain't gonna let me come in there no more, you know? So, but a paid focus group, they will absolutely give you the information that you need. Finally, you build trust through those hard, tough conversations. Keep coming back. Keep talking. Keep talking to each other. Keep sharing the information. Continue to show up in these groups. Continue to come to these meetings. Continue to have these meetings. And talk. Talk. This afternoon, y'all gonna talk. Y'all gonna talk to each other. Okay? You got numbers and stuff. Y'all are gonna talk to each other. That's how you find out. That's how you're able to ascertain what the level of trust is within your particular community and your initiative. I know I'm about running out of time here, so I'm about to shut up here. Let me give you this. These are a couple of resources that will help you to make sure that you're on track with racial equity and inclusion and diversity within your initiative.